it does hurt you in the long run, but that means you have to put more of it in that space. So I'm always like, go to a quality seed source, someone that tests their seeds like every like 6 or so months. When it comes to like your transplants, you kind of look at the little baby seedlings. If the leaves look a little bit yellow, they don't look quite full and vibrant with color, just to stay away from it.
All right. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing good. It's just another day, another opportunity to talk about food, man.
Yes, sir. All right. So today I have a little game. Instead of normal questions, I have 5 questions. And I need you to answer them as fast as possible. So, like, I was thinking 5 by 3. So we took the 15 minutes.
Okay.
Like 15 with Fredo or something.
Okay.
And so I got 5 questions. So I want...
And you said open answer as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so answer them in like 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I don't think we'll stick to 3 minutes, but...
I was about to say, you must don't know how I was raised, buddy. Give a microphone and growing up in the church, we're going to turn this into a sermon, but we'll make it work. We'll honor Alex Trebek and stick to the Jeopardy format. We got you. I got you.
All right, you ready? So question number 1. Should I plant in containers, garden boxes, or the ground?
Garden boxes. I emphasize garden boxes because you can control the depth of it and you can control how wide it is and how long it is. So you can add more variety to that space. Mm-hmm. And it just allows for you. I think variety is like the spice of life. And so having a space where you can grow more than just one crop in it allows for you to be able to feed more people and to feed your family over a longer extended period of time.
Cool. All right.
Right.
So that was pretty good. All right. So how often should I fertilize my plants?
Depends on what variety of plant that you're growing. So there's really, we like to develop a fertilizing schedule because some plants you need to fertilize when you first put them into the ground. You just let them go. Like potatoes or sweet potatoes, you just kind of fertilize that general area where it's at and then you're done with it.
Okay.
But some crops like your tomatoes, your heavy feeders, you might have to feed them on like a 2-week or 3-week sort of rotational schedule.
Like what?
Fertilize it with like fish emoja. You can utilize a conventional like 10-10-10, 20-20-20, that type of stuff that are more water-based that you put at the roots of the plant. Mm-hmm. And then with the fish emoja, you can spray like the leaves of the plant, but do it in the evening time. And with your collards, and corn, tomatoes, sometimes your leafy greens are heavy feeders, so that's why they have to be fed more regularly. Mm-hmm. And then some things are like medium feeders, which kind of like at planting, a month later, some more fertilizer, and at the end towards harvest, a little bit of fertilizer. And then some stuff you don't even have to fertilize, like I said, potatoes or green beans, as we talk about a lot. You just put them in the ground, and they're able to go on your own, so you don't have to get caught up in the science of every hour, every minute, every second, do I put fertilizer? And that's what we're trying to minimize with people. Make it easy for you.
Yeah. All right, so the next question. Should I use pesticides, plant like bug killers and stuff?
Tricky question, but my ultimate answer is no, you shouldn't, because if you're growing stuff in your backyard, a lot of it, like your pests that are coming on your crops, on your plants in your backyard, you should be able to pick those off with your hands or just utilize some sort of like water gun or spray gun to spray those bugs and pests off. Like you should be able to control it. Okay. Now, once you get into like a space where you're like in a 1/4 acre piece of land, then you might want to look into like some organic pest control solutions that you can put onto your plant to help with just controlling like the disease or pests, right? But then also some of the things to keep pests away you can make at home. So a lot of my old time farmers used to make like this concoction where they would use like cayenne pepper and garlic and just like mix it together, like let it like sit in water and seep, and then just go spray it on their plants because it would keep pests away. It would keep like deers and stuff away.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm emphasizing try to find a natural solution because you do have beneficial like insects that also eat the bad pests too. So sometimes when you just spray pest control on things, it like takes everything out.
Yeah.
But like think about ladybugs, and ladybugs eat aphids, right? Aphids are like one of your main predators on your leafy greens. So by having ladybugs in your garden, and that helps out. Even like some forms of like wasps are there as well to kind of eat the worms that eat on your tomato plants and things like that. So I'm always like, find a natural solution. And to me, the most natural solution is let me go pick them off and spray them off with water, and I can do it in my backyard. But once you kind of get into bigger spaces, you have to just think in terms of like natural solutions and things like that.
Cool. So here's a good one. We got this from online.
Okay.
Are cheap plants more likely to die?
That's a very loaded question, right? Well, sometimes it's all about how they. Well, I can't say universally yes or no, because I just think it's one of them things where, because sometimes you catch like a deal where they're like selling like tomato plants or trees at a discount because it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
But on average, I'm always a fan of you get what you pay for, right? And so oftentimes I emphasize to people that to go to like your local nursery that you've been doing business with for years to years, go with them, purchase from them, be leery of like the 50-cent seed pack, because if you don't know the germination rate of the seeds that you got, then you're losing out, right? But if you do get something that's cheaper, just understand seed-wise that you're probably going to put like not just one seed in the hole that you're planting in. You might need to put like 4 to like 6 of them, just because the germination rate might be low. So yes, it does hurt you in the long run, but that means you have to put more of it in that space. So I'm always like, go to a quality seed source, someone that tests their seeds like every like 6 or so months. When it comes to like your transplants, you kind of look at the little baby seedlings. If the leaves look a little bit yellow, they don't look quite full and vibrant with color, just to stay away from it. Now I have had plants where they weren't in the best shape, but because of the nutrients, the fertilizer, how I took care of the plants, they like bounce back. But that's just because I spent a lot of time working with it. But if you just like, look, I'm going to throw it in the ground and just leave it, you probably want to leave the cheap stuff alone.
So this isn't really one of the 5, but
it ain't the 5. I thought we were doing the 5.
I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay, all right.
So I'm just curious. If you buy a cheap plant, is it going to taste worse?
Nah.
It tastes the same?
It's probably going to take, if it actually grows to harvest, it's going to probably taste about the same.
Okay.
It's just kind of like the mishap or the misshape like tomato plant. Even though it like has like a crook on it or something like that, you slice it open and you cut it up in the sauce, it's going to basically probably taste about the same.
Okay, cool. So here's our last question. How do you tell what kind of soil you have?
Oh, easy. Get a soil test.
What?
So rule number, I say it's easy because you find out what type of soil you're dealing with. The easiest way to find out is you get what we call like a soil test. So a soil test is done by taking like a small shovel in multiple places just to get a sample, and you take it off to a lab, and it kind of gives you a breakdown.
That is so much work.
That it's not work at all. It's like it's about as simple as you like Googling it, right? like
I guess so.
Right, just like Google, the same thing. So you just take it to like in the lab. It's like UGA or your local extension. Might cost you like $8 to get the results, because
really?
Once you find that out, then you know if you have like a loamy soil, you have like a sandy, based soil, a clay-based soil. Then that can really help determine what amendments you need to add. You need to throw more compost into it. If it has like a high level of like calcium or phosphorus, just the chemical breakdown of your soil can also help determine what other things you need to add to it, so you have like a healthy soil to grow healthy plants and things like that. So I made it seem it sounded like worse because you had like test and digging, but it's just really simple. If they're going to like 6 to 8 spots in your little garden space, mixing it all in, letting it dry out, taking it to extension. They mail it probably like in a week or so. You get like a results via email, and it basically you could even request like, hey, I'm only growing blueberries. So what does my soil make up? What I need to do to adjust it for blueberries? Or I'm only going to grow tomatoes and eggplants. So they can give you like that sort of feedback, give you recommendations on what you can purchase to add to it, like how many pounds of it and things like that. So it sounds like a lot, but that's always my first thing for any garden space that we're going to do. Once we break the ground is let's do a soil test to see if it's sandy, if it's loam, if it's clay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a high level of nitrogen, like a high level of potassium, a high level of phosphorus. So we know how to amend it over time so we get the results that we're looking for. So I think it's well worth it to learn how to use a little scoop shovel in a Ziploc bag.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
Well, somebody threw in an extra question, but I think
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it happens like that. But I appreciate it, man. I'll be ready for the next time we do rapid fire.
Yep, that was awesome.
I appreciate it.